All right, this is the growth guide that I talked about earlier. This is what you're going to use to conduct your initial study. You'll notice there are 4 columns on every growth guide. I'm just going to use indicator 1.1 because it's first, but you'll notice there are 4 columns: emerging, developing, proficient, and distinguished. And there are 3 frames of the educator. There's an evidence of commitment, evidence of practice, and evidence of impact. For some indicators, there's not a professional frame for all 3. So let me scroll down here really quick to 1.2, which I know only has 2. You'll notice there's no evidence of commitment for this one. But we're going to do 1.1 as the example. When you look at the frames, you want to ask yourself 3 questions. 1, is this in place? 2, is it in place consistently? And 3, what evidence do I have to support that? And so when I look at these, if I have is well prepared to guide students to a deeper understanding of content, if that's in place and it's consistent, if all 3 of these are in place and consistent, then I'm a 2. These numbers at the bottom go from left to right within the column. So if I had nothing in this column, I'd clearly be a 0. If I had all 3 of these things in place, but they weren't there consistently, I'd be a 1. But since I feel like I have all 3 things in place and in place consistently, I'd be a 2. Then I'll move to the developing column and do the same thing. Again, if I have all 3 of these things in place, but not consistently, I'd be a 3. If I have them all in place and consistently, I'd be a 4. Then I'd keep moving over. So for the sake of the example, let's just assume that I'm a 3. And the thing that I really need to work on is this piece of students are able to use academic language. When I go back to my initial study on the Educator Growth Plan document, I'm just going to do a narrative of what I just talked with you about. I'm going to talk about what I currently do, what's there consistently, and what an opportunity for improvement is. Then in the plan box, I'm going to write a SMART goal for this piece, that students are able to use academic language. So my SMART goal might be something like, by March of 2018, students will be able to consistently use academic language as measured by maybe student reports or student work samples or student interviews, surveys, whatever it is that I'm going to do to make sure they are able to use academic language.